Hey guys, welcome to Sriram's IS. Sriram IS is a channel partner of Unacademy and इस सेशन में मैं आप सबके लिए लेके आया हूँ एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग मॉडल क्वेश्चन ऑन इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी. The objective of this question is how to learn the answer writing skill for internal security as a topic. We will learn the answer writing skill for the internal security in this topic. So before starting this video, the topic for today's discussion is cyber security. Okay, now अगर आप cyber security guys देखोगे, if you pick GS3 paper from past 6 years, साइबर सिक्योरिटी हर साल एक क्वेश्चन आपको मिलेगा. एवरी ईयर देर इज वन क्वेश्चन ऑन साइबर सिक्योरिटी दैट हैज बीन आस्क्ड बाय यूपीएससी. ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन कभी 10 मार्क्स का आएगा या कभी 15 मार्क्स का आएगा, बट आएगा जरूर. पिछले 6 साल से लगातार ये क्वेश्चन आ रहा है. सो द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दिस डिस्कशन इज टू हेल्प यू टू बिल्ड the answer writing technique for some famous topic so that you can secure some good marks. All right, now to begin with, let us start with some model question on internal security. Like internal security में आपको पता है बहुत सारे ऐसे modern topics है जहाँ से questions आ सकते हैं when it comes to cyber security. One important area is the ongoing cyber attacks. ओके, ऑनगोइंग साइबर अटैक्स, इसके ऊपर पहले भी यूपीएससी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है. लाइक वेरी रिसेंटली अभी कोविन पोर्टल पर अटैक हुआ है, हमारा कोविन पोर्टल का डेटा लीक हुआ है. ओके, सिमिलरली आज से थोड़ा टाइम पहले एम्स, लाइक द वेबसाइट ऑफ एम्स वाज अटैक्ड विद अ साइबर फोर्स एंड इट वाज अ ransomware attack. Ransomware where the people have demanded, the hackers have demanded some ransom. Then there has been data leaks and data hacks or cyber attacks that has happened on some private organizations like Zomato, then Z Media. So this is very important area for the GS3 जहां से questions आने के chances बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं. Okay, so इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी में आज जो हम क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस करेंगे वो एक क्वेश्चन मैंने आपके लिए मॉडर्न क्वेश्चन अटैच करा है. और इस क्वेश्चन के इस सेशन के एंड में मैं आपको कुछ प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस भी दिखाऊंगा कि किस लाइंस पर इस टॉपिक से क्वेश्चन आए हुए हैं. बट टुडेस टॉपिक इज मेजरली फोकस्ड ऑन दिस मॉडल क्वेश्चन, दैट हाउ वी विल डील द अपकमिंग साइबर अटैक्स इन आवर country. And then the question says also discuss the defensive measures against these sophisticated attacks. What all measures that we can adopt so that we can safeguard ourselves from any kind of cyber attack. ठीक है, इन लाइंस पर हम क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करेंगे. सो व्हाट शुड बी द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ सच क्वेश्चंस. आप इंट्रोडक्शन कैसे दोगे? सो इन इंट्रोडक्शन गाइस, it is advisable कि you add a little data. You support your answer with a data. Okay, and then along with data you can also define what is cyber security. This is how you can introduce this answer. Okay, so according to section 2 subclass 1, cyber security in India is defined as, or this is defined in Information Technology Act of 2000. So cyber security means protecting information, equipment, devices, computer resources, communication and information stored from any unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruption, modification. So for all those people जो अभी हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं guys, I am answering this model question because cyber security से पिछले last 6 years there is a continuous one question that is common here. Okay, so we are discussing cyber security. All right. So guys, how you will start your answer after defining what is cyber security? Little introduction on that how we have to define cyber security. Then you can quote some reports कि हमारे देश में cyber attacks का what is the status of cyber attack right now. So as far as data and figures are concerned, you can use these kind of reports like Global Information Safety Report. They consider India as one of the highest place or highest targets in when it comes to different countries, where the number of cyber attack, in terms of number of cyber attack, we rank at number 2. Okay, now most of the cyber attacks in India, they originate from countries like China, Pakistan, and then there are some cyber attacks which are state sponsored cyber attacks, and then some non-state sponsored cyber attacks. That means state sponsored cyber attacks कौन से हो गए? Like cyber attacks which are done by China, cyber attacks which are done by Pakistan. All right, and non-state cyber attacks कैसे attacks हो गए? Like for example, some private organization is with their own personal agenda and they are attacking the Indian cyber domain. Then according to cyber security index, इंडिया का जो साइबर सिक्योरिटी में जो रैंक है वो एट प्रेजेंट 10th स्पॉट पर है. दैट मीन्स वी आर वे बिहाइंड in terms of creating a cyber security for our cyber systems, for our information systems. Okay, and then you can also take the help of some NCRB data. Like NCRB says there is a report or there is a jump of 11.8% in the cyber attacks, and especially after the post COVID times. The post COVID टाइम के बाद ये साइबर अटैक्स की फ्रीक्वेंसी और ज्यादा बढ़ गई है आफ्टर 2019. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ आप अपने आंसर को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स को इशू करके, कुछ रिपोर्ट्स मेंशन करके, कुछ डेटा मेंशन करके. ठीक है, ये आपके आंसर को एनरिच करता है, वैल्यू एडिशन देता है. और कोई भी इवैल्यूएटर जब आपके आंसर में कुछ डेटास देखेगा, फैक्ट्स देखेगा, तो वहीं पर आपके आंसर्स से वो इंप्रेस हो जाएगा. एंड देन इंट्रोडक्शन में आप एक पैराग्राफ में ये डेटास और डेफिनेशन देने के बाद यू कैन ब्रॉडली डिफाइन दैट व्हाट आर द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी. लाइक कितने तरह के साइबर अटैक्स और साइबर सिक्योरिटी में कितने तरह के कंपोनेंट्स आर इन्वॉल्व. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट इज the component of cyber crime. Okay, like how you would define cyber crime. जैसे कोविन डेटा लीक जो हमने क्वेश्चन में ऐड करा, ठीक है, कोविन डेटा लीक, अभी हाल ही में कोविन डेटा लीक हुआ, फिर एम्स पर अटैक हुआ, हमारे नरेंद्र मोदी का ट्विटर अकाउंट भी हैक हुआ. सो दीज टाइप ऑफ अटैक्स आर ऑन द राइज. ठीक है, कई बार तो YouTube से भी लाइव स्ट्रीम के थ्रू भी कई ऐसे हैकर्स आते हैं और कोशिश करते हैं कि वो डेटा निकाल सके, साइबर फिशिंग करने की कोशिश करते हैं. मैं ये सब आपको इस सेशन में समझाऊंगा कि कैसे आप अपने आंसर्स को रियलिस्टिक बनाते हुए अपने आंसर्स को डेवलप कर सकते हो. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज साइबर क्राइम. ओके, सो साइबर क्राइम कैसे डिफाइन करोगे आप? इट इज, व्हाट इज अ क्राइम? एनी अनलॉफुल एक्ट which is against the social norms, the set principles of the society, and with which you can harm anyone. This is how you can define a crime. So what is a cyber crime? Any unlawful act where a computer or communication device or a computer network is used to commit or facilitate the commission of the crime. जहां पर किसी कंप्यूटर डिवाइस या कम्युनिकेशन नेटवर्क को यूज करके what you are doing, you are carrying out a unlawful activity. This is known as a cyber crime. Then cyber espionage. Now this is another component of the cyber security. Okay, cyber espionage. Now what do you mean by espionage? For example, gaining the access of computer networks, gaining the access of illicit confidential information, and then using that information for against country's interest. Like, guys, are you aware of honey trapping? Okay, are you aware of honey trapping? Like, some fake profiles of women are created, and they generally target our armed forces personnel, some security agency personals, and any such similar kind of person, and then they try to gain access to the confidential information. इसको बोलते हैं साइबर एस्पियोनाज. Now, this can happen without honey trapping as well. This can happen like hacking into the system of armed forces. This is how you can carry out cyber espionage. Then, cyber terrorism. Now, the dimension of terrorism is not just linked to the old kind of attacks. Like how terrorist, when I say terrorism, the first thing that comes to your mind is bomb blast, where some group of people, they are carrying out a fidain hamla, a fidain attack on some place. Fidain attack is a kind of a suicide attack. So this is the first thing that comes to our mind. But in the present world, the Swati, definitely PYQs are important for prelims. Without PYQ, you cannot understand what is the exact game of UPSC. If you want to fight your enemy, that is UPSC, you should know what your enemy can do. All right. So coming to this cyber terrorism, basically guys, all those people who have joined me late, अभी हम एक मॉडल क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं फॉर इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी. टॉपिक है साइबर सिक्योरिटी, जो कि पिछले 6 साल से लगातार GS3 में एक क्वेश्चन पक्का आ रहा है. सो इस वीडियो में हम वी विल बी ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट हाउ टू राइट साइबर सिक्योरिटी क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. सो मैंने इंट्रोडक्शन अभी समझाया, फिर कंपोनेंट समझा रहा हूं. सो नेक्स्ट कंपोनेंट इज साइबर टेररिज्म. So cyber terrorism can be defined as a intentional use of computers, networks to cause maximum destruction. Like if some terrorist organization get access to our Aadhaar card. Okay. For example, guys, have you seen that web series Asur? So the present modern world, जहाँ पर AI, artificial intelligence is taking over, quantum communication is taking over. ठीक है. ये सारे डायमेंशंस में बहुत ज्यादा रिसर्च हो रहा है. देयर इज वेरी मोर लाइकली चांस दैट द नेक्स्ट अटैक्स विल बी विद द यूज ऑफ साइबर टेक्नोलॉजी. टेररिस्ट भी ऐसे ही अटैक करेंगे. देन साइबर वॉरफेयर. ईच कंट्री, लाइक इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया, ईच कंट्री इज प्रिपेयरिंग देयर ओन साइबर आर्मीज. हर कंट्री अपनी अपनी साइबर आर्मीज बना रही है. तो आप इसके बारे में ऐड कर सकते हो कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ साइबर सिक्योरिटी में. नाउ गाइस, कैन यू टेल मी विच इंडियन एजेंसी इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर टैकलिंग द साइबर अटैक्स इन इंडिया? कैन यू गाइस टेल मी? इन इंडिया अगर किसी तरह का साइबर अटैक हमारे ऊपर होगा, विच गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी विल कम इनटू फोर्स? Can you tell me in the comment box? It is CERT-IN. Full form, Computer Emergency Response Team. Computer Emergency Response Team. Very good, Gaurav. So this agency is responsible under working Ministry of Electronics, Information and Broadcasting. This agency will take care of any kind of cyber attack in India. Then you can also elaborate the cyberspace. Like we have a cyberspace policy or the cyber security policy that deals with the complex environment that is interaction between the people, software, services, and a worldwide distribution of communication technology. We will see what are the legislative measures to tackle cyber security issues. Then what are the different types of rising cyber crimes in India? What are the different types of rising cyber crimes in India? So in any kind of cyber attack, you can also mention very briefly that how the cyber crimes are rising in the country. So we are having financial frauds. Like, have you seen Jamtara? Jamtara mein you will see that how they try to manipulate the other party in order to gain access to the financial information. So Jamtara is an example of financial fraud. Then child pornography, cyberbullying and stalking. Generally women in India, they generally are not even secure in the cyberspace. So आप देखोगे there are some fake videos, fake images that are very easily circulated in the internet, and we have a deep fake technology now. Deep fake technology, which is the next threat. अब तो इन शॉर्ट्स, यूट्यूब शॉर्ट्स पर, इंस्टाग्राम शॉर्ट्स पर भी डीप फेक टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल होने लगी है, वेयर द पीपल आर मेकिंग द काइंड ऑफ वीडियोज यूजिंग फेक टेक्नोलॉजीज. Then the next type of cyber crime is copyright infringement. Like for example, if you try to use this video, that what I am teaching, and you try to upload this video on somebody else's channel, now this is known as the copyright. You are not allowed to do this. Acha, kai baar we get access to all such information. Sometimes we use the Google to prepare many things, but you never know that is that image under copyrighted cover or not. So this is another type of cyber crime. Then misuse of social media. Now this is something that is creating a havoc in our country. The hate speech, the fake information, which is spreading like a wildfire. Yes or no? You know that how even WhatsApp messages can lead to and can incite to the hate crimes. These days it is very easy. People do not believe in all these information. Like one example that I would like to give you, there was a news circulated in American media that Donald Trump got arrested. Okay, Donald Trump got arrested because of some tax forgery. Later on, it came out that it was a fake pictures that was circulated in the media, and you won't believe the news agencies, the top news agencies of America has shown those videos of Donald Trump getting arrested, and later they realized that it was a fake video. Then guys, identity theft. कई लोग यहीं से YouTube से टीचर्स का नाम एक्सेस करके फिर उनके प्रोफाइल बनाकर उनकी पर्सनल इंफॉर्मेशन लेकर लोगों से पैसा मांगते हैं. दिस हैज हैपेंड विद मी. Identity theft. In a live YouTube session where somebody has created my profile in my name and he was asking funds from my profile, from my friends. So this is also very common these days. Then cyber phishing. This cyber phishing is a new kind of crime which is developing slowly and slowly, and every time they are using new technology, like like all these e-commerce site, OLX, 99 acres, jitne bhi all these sites, whenever you post an ad, you will see that within 15 minutes you will start getting calls straight away, and the person will try to get friendly with you, and he will try to make you indulge in some or the other kind of financial transaction. Either he will speak that I want to give you some advance for the payment, or he will try to gain access to your personal financial information. This is known as cyber phishing. Then women getting trapped and becoming the victim of cyber crimes, because as the depth of internet is penetrating in the society, the more and more people or more sections of the society are getting vulnerable. Okay, nowadays there is a QR scam which is going on, where the people will try to replace the QR of all those vegetable vendors, the small people, marginally shopkeepers, marginal shopkeepers, that the hawkers. Okay, इनके QR there is a group which is active that will try to replace their QR because and representing themselves as a company employee. So this is also happening. Then there are other kind of cyber attacks, guys. When it comes to cyber crime and cyber attacks, one common method that these days, which is very much common, like for all those people who have just joined me, we are writing or we are practicing a model answer for this question. Okay, because cyber security से हर साल एक क्वेश्चन आपको देखने को मिलेगा GS3 में. इज इट क्लियर? सो कोविन पोर्टल का जो अभी हाल ही में डेटा लीक हुआ है, देयर इज अ लीक ऑफ कोविन पोर्टल डेटा and the case has been filed in Delhi police with the Delhi police, and the police is acting on it. So what are the ways and means through which these cyber criminals they carry out their attack? Now the first means is ransomware. Now what is ransomware? Where there is a group of hackers that will take the access of our computer, like they can hack into your system, and then they will demand money to free your system, to decrypt your system. This is called as ransomware. Like the firoti, that earlier people used to kidnap people and then they used to ask the firoti. Then there is something called as spoofing. In spoofing, somebody can call you and or somebody will try to replicate the identity of an individual. Okay, somebody will call you and they will attempt to gain your confidence and try to steal your information, try to spread a malware or try to steal your money. This term is known as spoofing. Then one common method which is used these days is introducing a worms and Trojan horses. जैसे अभी एक इशू था ना, पेगासस, द पेगासस सॉफ्टवेयर, जिससे ऐसा माना जाता था दैट द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज यूजिंग दैट पेगासस सॉफ्टवेयर अगेंस्ट टॉप ब्यूरोक्रेट्स, टॉप जर्नलिस्ट, opposition leaders, etc., etc. So this was the Pegasus software that was very much in news. Now Pegasus software is also a Trojan horse. Now what is a Trojan horse? Now basically they will introduce this software as a kind of a link. Like they will send you a link, and once you click on that link, without knowingly there will be a virus that will be installed in your device, and that device can take access to your data. And kai baar, what is so special about Pegasus, that Pegasus can even switch on your microphone, Pegasus can switch on your camera without your own permission. So this is known as Trojan horses. So Trojan horses are basically a regular application, genuine looking application. It will replicate itself, that means it will spread or it will try to gain the access of your computer system through a backdoor entry, and then it will steal all personal information. This is Trojan horse. Like all the spam mails that you get, आपको आते रहते होंगे ना, you win this much crores of lottery, you get a free credit card, you get a free loan. All these messages are generally the spam. इसके अंदर they have entered a link that will give the virus or that will release the virus to your computer as soon as you click the link. So these are the new methods of cyber crime. So guys, in order to save yourself from the cyber domain or to develop a cyber security, you need to develop cyber security at 4 different stages. First of all, developing the application. Like when Cowin portal was under the design. So how it was possible that Cowin portal the data of CoWIN portal can be released. So there must be a flaw that has been left when the application was under construction, जब application को बनाया जा रहा था, ठीक है. So this is known as the application security. Now basically it is to protect it from the threats that can come through the flaws in the app during the design, development, deployment, upgrade and maintenance stage. During the early stage, that is when the application is in the stage 1. Okay. Then information security. What kind of information basically that you have in that application, you have to protect that information. This is the second stage. Then the network security. With that app, what kind of usability, reliability, integrity and safety of the network is important. So basically securing the network on which the application is working. And then the final thing is you have to work on the disaster recovery planning. That means if an attack has happened on your portal or on your application, then how will you come out of that attack, or how you can recover or minimize the loss that has happened in that cyber attack. Okay, so guys, at times this cyber attack is done by state actors as well. State actor means some other country will also sponsor an attack on you. Like in India, China and Pakistan, most of the attacks in India comes from China. Almost all of our government websites are under threat from China every day, because some of my known people who are working in the government sector in the IT domain, they said that almost every 10 minutes there is a cyber attack that emerges either from China and Pakistan. So this idea of cyber warfare is expanding. The cyber space do not have any border, and this is something that favors cyber warfare. So first of all, a cyber attack in India can happen from America, can happen from even in a jungle in Africa. ठीक है, वो जंगल से भी हो सकता है. So what things that promote cyber warfare? Let us see this thing now. Like first thing is the independent theater of war. What do you mean by independent theater? यानी इसको किसी भी तरह का कोई कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता. That means nothing can disrupt these facilities. It is known as the independent theater. Cyber war का कोई theater नहीं है. Like for a fighter plane, there is a theater, the sky. A fighter plane has to do anything there in the sky. Like armed forces have a theater on the land, in jungle, in desert, in mountainous region. Similarly, Navy has its own theater, the theater of open seas, closed seas, gulfs, rivers. But cyber attack or cyber warfare, there is no single theater. This promotes cyber warfare. Then it is borderless. Cyber attack कोई एक border से originate नहीं होता. It different corners से हो सकता है. Like a cyber attack can happen within India. Some Indian can attack an Indian system, or some Pakistani sitting in Dubai can attack India. This is known as the borderless feature of a cyber war. Then disguised attacker. Now this is the biggest flaw. Let's suppose if somebody attack our system, it is very difficult for us to locate what is the origin of the attack, and if you know the origin, what is basically who is responsible for the attack, who is responsible for the attack. This is something very difficult to look for. And then guys, it is contactless. Now there is no physical contact that can happen in a cyber war. Like there is no No computer will harm you physically, but it can destroy you with much larger impact. For example, the cyber attack can, or the cyber warfare can have a damage to a complete economy. It can shatter a complete economy. So despite being contactless, उसने आपको छुआ नहीं, but the damage it has done is irreparable. So are you getting what is cyber warfare? Then cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism, now this is again a new kind of threat that is developing. It is the use of computer networks to shut down the critical infrastructure of any country. Now what do you mean by critical infrastructure? Like if somebody attacks our airport, if somebody attacks our nuclear establishment, if somebody attack our railway or any important chemical industry with which a chemical leak develop, if somebody attacks our chemical industry, now in this case a chemical leak develop, so these type of activities can happen even because of the cyber terrorism. Now this is the part of cyber terrorism. Okay, so there are many such non-state cyber terrorist organization which operates in the world. इनका काम ही यही है, to carry out cyber attacks on different countries and then demand money, or they feel happy to attack and destruct. They feel happy with the destruction. Okay, so guys, another example of cyber terrorism spreading is dark web. Okay, dark web is something, a new dimension जहां पर nobody can trace that from where the person is working, how the person is working, because the IP address in this dark web is not disclosed. It is something very similar to your digital currency, the bitcoins, where you cannot know the origin of the bitcoin. Origin कहां से हुआ वो digital currency. So similarly, there are many such non-state actor group. That means there are some groups जिनको कोई government support नहीं कर रही, but they are carrying out cyber attacks. Some of the examples are G-Force, Dr. Nuker, etc. etc. ऐसे ग्रुप्स ने हमारे बहुत सारे एस्टैब्लिशमेंट्स को अटैक करा है. Now what kind of strategies these cyber terrorists use? What strategies these cyber terrorists use? Now first is physical attack. For all those people who have just joined in, guys, we are right now doing a answer writing on a topic cyber security. We are doing answer writing for cyber security. Is it clear? So साइबर सिक्योरिटी का एक मॉडल क्वेश्चन है. अभी रिसेंटली देयर इज अ अटैक ऑन द कोविन पोर्टल. हमारा कोविन पोर्टल का डेटा लीक हुआ है, उससे लिंक्ड ये अटैक, उससे लिंक्ड ये क्वेश्चन है. हम उसके डायमेंशंस को देख रहे हैं कि कैसे आंसर्स लिखा जा सकता है. सो हमने इंट्रोडक्शन देखा. आप बॉडी में साइबर टेररिज्म के बारे में थोड़ा लिख सकते हो, साइबर वॉरफेयर के बारे में लिख सकते हो, एंड देन आप ये भी लिख सकते हो कि व्हाट आर द वेज ऑफ साइबर अटैक्स इन इंडिया. ठीक है, एंड देन आई विल कम टू हाउ, व्हाट आर द मेजर्स, कैसे हम साइबर अटैक्स को कम कर सकते हैं और हाउ वी कैन फाइट इट. अच्छा, बिफोर दैट, व्हाट मेथड्स डज दिस साइबर टेररिस्ट यूज? नाउ द फर्स्ट मेथड is the physical attack. Now in physical attack there will be a use of a bomb or a fire attack. Let's say somebody has started fighting or started bombarding bullets on our cyber infrastructure. This is known as the physical attack. Then there is something known as the syntactic attack. Okay, what is a syntactic attack? Now basically in this type of attack, somebody will release a virus or a Trojan in your computer. They will try to hack it and then they will try to ransom you or they will try to ask money as a ransom. ऐसे attacks को बोलेंगे syntactic attacks. Then there is something called as semantic attack. Now in this semantic attack, somebody will try to enter your system and try to copy whatever knowledge, whatever information that your system has, and then they will use and process that knowledge in order to maybe extract information from you or maybe to blackmail you. This type of terrorist activity is known as the semantic attack. Got it, guys? Then guys, what are the reasons behind that why we are so prone to these type of cyber attacks? First, there is no lack of unified efforts in our country. क्या क्या रीजन है क्यों हमारे देश में इतने ज्यादा साइबर अटैक्स हो रहे हैं? The first reason is, you can mention the vulnerabilities or the reasons for cyber attacks. First, lack of unified efforts. Like, even today, we do not have a well-defined cyber law. We do not have well-defined cyber law. Like, nobody is talking about AI. Is AI covered in any law? Is quantum communication, quantum technology covered in any law in India? Answer is no. क्या जितने भी साइबर फ्रॉड्स हो रहे हैं हमारे देश में, उनको टैकल करने के लिए डू वी हैव सेपरेट कोर्ट्स running in the country? Answer is no. So there is no unified efforts in the country against cyber security. Then shortage of trained workforce. हमारे देश में trained workforce, trained professionals, cyber security के professionals are not easily available. I am talking about quality professionals that can help India to grow in cyber security in this domain. Okay, then lack of advanced secure devices. The electronic devices that we use, they do not follow the high security norms. Even if you buy high-end phones, आपके high-end phones can be easily hacked. This is one more issue. Then threat from the imported software and hardwares. Like, we all know that you never know Google, the apps available on Google. What if somebody develops an app which has a malware, which has a virus? किसी ने गूगल प्ले स्टोर पर एक ऐसी ऐप बनाकर डाल दी लाइसेंस के साथ गूगल के, जिसमें एक वायरस हो, एंड दैट ऐप इज टेकिंग योर इंफॉर्मेशन. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, pick any app. WhatsApp is analyzing your data. WhatsApp is tracking your location. WhatsApp is tracking your media. So in short, the owner of the WhatsApp, if that owner wants to get access to your personal phone, can that owner easily get into your phone? Very easily, because WhatsApp is installed on your phone and it can do anything through the WhatsApp. So you never know. ये तो एक example था. This is one example. What if somebody generates an app like this, and then it is tracking or it is taking every information that you have on your phone, including your passwords. Okay, so like for example, at many times, whenever you log in or you use net banking, guys, ऐसा होता है ना, जनरली टू सेव टाइम यू क्लिक ऑन द सेव पासवर्ड बटन. You click on the save password button. Now this save password will, every time whenever you click the bank's link, you straight away will be directed to that how much money you have to transfer, and then just putting a OTP, you can easily take the money. What if somebody access to your bank? They will get the OTP by changing your phone number, and then they do the transaction. All these things are happening in real life. Okay, all these things are happening, guys, in real life. So that is why there are vulnerability to these things. Now let us see what are the steps taken by the government? ओके, लाइक यहाँ पर जो मॉडल क्वेश्चन हम पढ़ रहे हैं, जो मॉडल क्वेश्चन हम प्रैक्टिस करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, द सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन सेज डिस्कस द डिफेंसिव मेजर्स अगेंस्ट द सोफिस्टिकेटेड अटैक्स. व्हाट ऑल डिफेंस दैट वी हैव. तो हमें देखना होगा कि हमारे देश में लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर्स कितने हैं. व्हाट आर द लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर्स, यानी कानूनी मेजर्स कितने हैं. देन इंस्टीट्यूशनल मेजर्स, that means have we formed certain institutions to fight any kind of cyber attack in India? Do we have any institutions? Yes, we do have. So अभी वो बताता हूं मैं आपको, like what are the measures. So सबसे पहला measure, the first thing that we have done in order to tackle cyber security is the legislative measures. हमारे देश में one and only law that fights cyber security or these areas is Information Technology Act 2000, which was amended in 2008. Okay, Information Technology Act 2000, which was amended in 2008. Now this Information Technology Act regulates the use of computer systems, computer networks and their data. ये computer systems को, computer networks and everything is covered under this act. Also this act gives a statutory recognition to electronic contracts and electronic signatures. अब like if you are working these days, HR can send you a offer letter or confirmation letter through email, and then what is the validity of that confirmation letter? That is 100% valid, because if you digitally sign it, it has the validity. Then what are the other features of this Information Technology Act? The digital signature has been replaced by electronic signature to make the technology more neutral. Then it will elaborate on the offenses, penalties and breaches. It outlines the justice dispensation systems for cyber crimes. So everything is mentioned. One umbrella act that we have in our country to fight cyber laws is Information Technology Act. तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी से कोई भी क्वेश्चन आएगा, आपको ये एक्ट मेंशन करना होगा. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Is it clear? Then there are some other measures, other legislative measures as well, guys, like National Cyber Security Policy. National Cyber Security Policy 2013. Now basically this was set up different bodies to tackle various levels of threats along with nodal agencies to coordinate with cyber security matters. That means according to this policy, they will categorize the level of threat, like what kind of threat right now we are facing and what is the impact of that threat. Like for example, somebody has hacked into our banking system. In this case, the level of threat is very high. But if somebody has hacked into some, let's say some regular post office website, or they have hacked or changed the post office website, this is the threat level will be a slightly less. Okay, so according to cyber policy, they will adopt the best practices in information technology. Okay, then National Critical Information Structure Protection Center, NCIIPC, was formed under this policy. What is critical infrastructure? Critical infrastructure किसे कहते हैं हम? Like the energy establishment, like our thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, railways, okay, some dam, all these type of infrastructure that we have is basically the critical infrastructure, और इसके प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, इसको साइबर प्रोटेक्शन देने के लिए हमारे पास नेशनल क्रिटिकल इंफॉर्मेशन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोटेक्शन सेंटर है। ये नेशनल साइबर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी के अंदर बनाया गया। देन टू क्रिएट अ थिंक टैंक फॉर साइबर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी इनपुट्स, discussions and deliberations. Okay, like the think tank will work on how we can improve the cyber security in the country. Okay, then to provide fiscal benefits, to give the funding to such bodies, to such think tanks, so that they can carry out the research. Okay, they can carry out the research work. Then setting up of testing labs to regularly check the safety of the equipments. So we need some upgradation on our labs, upgradation on our systems as well. Then building some indigenous security technologies through research. So ये नेशनल साइबर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी ये सब कुछ कवर करती है। इसके बाद हम लेके आए एक और लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर। सो लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर में वी हैव थ्री थिंग्स। फर्स्ट, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एक्ट 2000, देन नेशनल कम्युनिकेशन साइबर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी, and the third is, this is 2013, and the third is national digital policy, national digital कम्युनिकेशन पॉलिसी। ये लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर से रिलेटेड अगर साइबर सिक्योरिटी का कोई क्वेश्चन आए, आपको ये तीन चीजें जरूर मेंशन करनी है। एंड साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज इन क्वेश्चन, इस साल भी क्वेश्चन आएगा ही आएगा। एंड मॉडल क्वेश्चन जो मैंने अभी स्टार्टिंग में इस वीडियो के बताया था, वेरी रिसेंटली द कोविन डेटा लीक, जो कोविन पोर्टल था हमारा वैक्सीनेशन और उस सब से रिलेटेड, उसके लीक से रिलेटेड जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उस पर मैंने एक क्वेश्चन बनाया था, उसके हम आंसर राइटिंग कर रहे हैं। और ब्रॉडली जो हम आंसर राइटिंग करते हैं गाइस, लाइक द मेन थीम इज साइबर सिक्योरिटी। ओके, अब उसमें वो थोड़े बहुत कंपोनेंट ही चेंज करेगा क्वेश्चन के, बट ब्रॉडर थीम क्वेश्चन की सेम रहती है। सो यू हैव टू फिल्टर आउट एटलीस्ट सम कंटेंट दैट विल बी सेम इन एनी साइबर सिक्योरिटी क्वेश्चन। लाइक जो मेजर्स हैं, जो कानूनी मेजर्स टू टैकल साइबर सिक्योरिटी है, वो तो सेम रहेंगे। तो क्वेश्चन चाहे साइबर सिक्योरिटी पर कैसा भी हो, आपको एटलीस्ट ये तीन लेजिस्लेटिव मेजर्स तो लिखने ही पड़ेंगे, तो इनको याद कर लीजिए। अच्छा, नेशनल डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन पॉलिसी के अंदर इट विल रिप्लेस द नेशनल टेलीकॉम पॉलिसी, एंड देन इट इज रिप्लेस्ड टू अट्रैक्ट ऑलमोस्ट $100 billion of investment that will generate 4 million jobs in this sector by 2022. This was expected back then in 2018. The three main aim of this policy is Connect India, Propel India, and Secure India. Connect India means creating robust digital infrastructure. Robust digital infrastructure, that means we develop communication networks, we develop IT firms that can help us in providing cyber security. Then Propel India, that means for enabling next generation technology and services, we need investment, we need innovation, we need IPR. Okay, protection of our innovation, intellectual property right. Are you getting this? So Propel India basically, like right now we need to propel in AI, like in quantum communication. Okay, so is in technologies mein India is lacking behind. All right, and then once we generate our technology, we need to protect that technology as well. So IPR को strengthen करना पड़ेगा हमें. Okay, then this is institutional framework. Now we will cover, what we have done is legislative framework. Now we will cover institutional framework, like what all institutions are in India that is working for cyber security. What are the different institutional framework in our country that are working for the cyber security? So the first is, it aims, the first institution is National Cyber Security Coordination Center, NCCC. It aims to screen communications metadata coming into the country to detect the real-time cyber threats. So this is working as a screening, as a monitoring of any such data which is coming to India, or any kind of attack which is happening on India real time पर. Okay, then the second is CERT-IN. ये मैंने आपको बताया था, Ministry of Electronics Information Technology, METI. This is the most important agency or institute working for the cyber security protection in the country. It serves as a national agency to charge और as a in charge of cyber security. हमारे देश की cyber security इनके हवाले है. Then guys, National Cyber Crime Coordination Center and Cyber Warrior Police Force. Under this center, it has been newly created Cyber Information Security Division under MHA to tackle internet crimes such as cyber threats, child pornography and online stalking. This is a cyber warrior police force. Now basically every state police force has created their own cyber force. So that cyber force and that cyber stations are trying to register the cases which are linked to the cyber domain. But again, the equipments, the people there are not well trained, well planned in order to tackle this. The National Critical Infrastructure Information Infrastructure Protection Center, इसके बारे में मैंने अभी आपको बताया था. It is the nodal agency to protect all the critical infrastructure of our country. What do you mean by critical infrastructure? Like ports, nuclear establishment, some institutional industrial establishment, इन सबको ये protect करता है. Then just a second. Then guys, Cyber Swachhta Kendra. What is Cyber Swachhta Kendra? It is basically a botnet cleaning malware. Now, what is a botnet cleaning malware? किसी भी तरह के bots या वायरस अटैक अगर होगा किसी भी नेटवर्क पर, गवर्नमेंट वेबसाइट पर, this cyber swachhta kendra will try to remove those botnets, malwares, etc, etc. Okay, then what are the other measures? Other measures that we have in India is Digital Army program. This Digital Army program is a dedicated cloud to digitize and automate the process and the procedure, like how we can advance our Indian Army or the armed forces to get ready with the cyber dynamics happening in the world. हम अपनी फौज को कैसे साइबर सिक्योरिटी में इक्विप कर सकते हैं? सो देयर इज अ ऑपरेशन मेघराज फॉर दिस. This was launched as a part of Digital India Mission so that they can develop the more cyber advanced technologies. Then cooperation with other countries, like we can take help from US, we can take help from UK, China, Malaysia, so that we can develop cooperation in the cyber domain. Then audit of government websites and application. एक बार website बन गई, उसका continuous audit is very much required. Then training of information security personnels. That means we have to train all our information security personnels so that they also have the necessary research, education, training in the field of information technology. All right. Then what are some global initiatives in the field of cybersecurity? First, the Budapest Convention. It is the only multilateral treaty on cybersecurity. पूरे वर्ल्ड में अब तक की सबसे बड़ी ट्रीटी अगर साइबर सिक्योरिटी के डोमेन में साइन हुई है, दैट इज द बुडापेस्ट कन्वेंशन. इट फोकसेस ऑन हार्मोनाइजिंग द national laws for improving legal authorities and for investigating techniques in increasing cooperation among the nations. Okay, then internet cooperation for the assigned names and numbers, ICANN. What is ICANN? ICANN basically coordinates and ensure the smooth and secure functioning of the cybernetic framework, ताकि हमारे जितने भी वेबसाइट्स हैं, all the frameworks that have been developed, that works very smoothly. Next is Paris Call. This is another global initiative that is launched in the domain of cybersecurity. It is basically a statement of consensus related to the growing concern about the cyber threats. Okay, it set a common principle agreed upon by the like-minded countries, private sector entities, and international civil society organizations. Then Ground Zero Summit. It is again a platform for Asia only. ठीक है, Paris Call basically जो only signed convention है, that is the Budapest Convention. Okay, however the Ground Zero Summit is a convention for the Asia, so that the cutting edge technologies can be worked upon, emerging cyber security challenges can be taken care of. So what are the challenges for, or what are the challenges to cyber security in India? The biggest challenge is data. So guys, in present world, data is the new gold. जिस भी कंट्री के पास डेटा है, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग डेटा है, वो कंट्री, दैट कंट्री विल हैव द एक्सेस टू इंफॉर्मेशन, एंड व्हेन यू हैव एक्सेस टू इंफॉर्मेशन यू कैन प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ चाइना स्टार्ट कलेक्टिंग इंडियन डेटा, इफ यू रिमेंबर दे यूज्ड टू हैव अ एप्लीकेशन नोन एज WeChat, or one application that is still working, TikTok. All these applications are banned in India. Why they are banned? Because it is believed that China was extracting that extra information, that digital information from, and the digital data from the Indian users. So this is the first challenge to cybersecurity. Then lack of robust law enforcement mechanism. That means we do not have, like for example, if cyber crime happens with Mr. X, do you think that Mr. X अगर पुलिस स्टेशन जाएगा कि मेरे साथ साइबर क्राइम हुआ है, then somebody will take any initiative to solve this crime? Answer is no. Nobody bothers in reality. So we need to develop a robust law enforcement mechanism so that we can work on these lines. Then cyber terrorism. This is another challenge. The terrorism, the radicalization, the use of violence is increasing with the use of internet. Next, cyber warfare. Like the nations are involved, the non-state actors are involved in carrying out attacks on the other nations. Like one important thing, guys, in Russia, which is coming. So there is a military group there that has further tried to take over Russia. There is a military coup going on in Russia as of now. Okay, so you never know that how now the dynamics will change. So then next is cyber infrastructure concern. Like what kind of infrastructure that we will develop, what kind of computer networks that we will be developing, protection to the critical infrastructure, then lack of specialists. In India, we do not have any good number of specialists working in India. However, these specialists, they do work for the other countries like America, but nobody is working for India. Okay, then lack of coordination. Now, due to the existence of too many agencies with overlapping functions, like so many institutes, so many different agencies, there is lack of coordination among these agencies. The coordination among them is very poor. So these are the challenges. Then what can be way forward? How we can improve cyber security and we can come out? So आप conclusion में एक way forward लिख सकते हो अपने answers के. It may include like how you can do that, building capabilities. Like you can develop some applications which are more secure. You can develop some infrastructure which is more secure. Okay, then developing human resource, training human resource, increasing the number of experts that are comfortable in the dimension of cyber security. Then R&D, we can invest, we can increase our investment in more research and development. We can increase our investment in developing new infrastructure related to cyber security, जैसे like quantum computing. Like why can't we not develop a AI, artificial intelligence, that stops every spam link coming to our computer? आने वाले टाइम में ये होगा, but then there will be AIs that will try to attack this AI. So in future, it is also the new kind of a war that will start. Are you understanding this? Then guys, policy and governance. We need some robust policy so that we can effectively implement the same. Same means cyber security. Then awareness, spreading awareness. Now we need to have certain campaigns, involvement of big private organizations, so that they can conduct awareness campaigns about the different kind of cyber threats in India. And then strengthening partnership, strengthening private partnership. Okay, now public private partnership or involving many private players in the government, so that we can make our government portals more secure. This can be done through strengthening private partnership. Okay, then let us see that what are some developments in the cyber security domain. Okay, like the question has already been asked on the digital personal data protection bill. Like for example, if I show you that what are the different questions that has been come till now. So if you see, each year there is a question. This question is of 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each year there is a question coming on cyber security. So maybe you can take the screenshot of this slide and you can read the question, like understand this question, data security. There was a bill that was introduced in Parliament in 2018, the Data Protection Bill. द डेटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल. सो अभी मैं इसी बिल के बारे में थोड़ा सा और आपको बता देता हूं दैट व्हाट इज दिस बिल. सो दिस बिल वाज फर्स्ट इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन 2018 इन द पार्लियामेंट, बट देन आफ्टर certain criticism this bill was taken back. Okay, this bill was withdrawn just after 3 months of the introduction in the parliament. Sorry, it was introduced in 2019, not 18. Okay, so this data protection bill, basically how this data protection came into existence. Now first of all, in 2017 one important judgment came, the Puttaswamy judgment. Now this was a 9 judges bench judgment where Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court has unanimously held that India have a constitutional right of privacy, and right to privacy is enshrined in the right to life and liberty. So that means privacy is part of Article 21. Then on this judgment, now in this context, right to privacy is also inclusive of right to protect your personal information available on internet. Yes or no? So this data protection regime or this data protection bill was first it was introduced after the recommendation of B.N. Sri Krishna committee, which was set up on the same line. That means it is a committee of expert that will create a law on, or that will help to draft a bill on data protection, that how we can secure our data. So on the recommendation of B.N. Sri Krishna, and to strengthen the privacy law in the India, restrictions on processing and collecting of data, there is a data protection authority that will be formed. There will be right to forgotten that will be given, and data localization, all these things will come in data protection bill. और अब ये बिल पार्लियामेंट में इंट्रोड्यूस कर भी दिया गया है. राइट नाउ ये बिल पेंडिंग है. The government hasn't passed it, but this bill has been introduced in the parliament. Okay, now what is the first thing? The first principle. Now this bill has some 7 principles. So the first principle of data protection is that any organization, the personal data by any organization must be done in a lawful and fair to individual manner. That means it should be transparent. So whatever data that any company is collecting, like for example WhatsApp, is collecting your personal information. So how WhatsApp will use that information is basically it depends on, it will put obligations on the WhatsApp to how that they will use the data, the personal information. Second, the personal data only be used for the purpose of which it is collected. जिस purpose के लिए you are collecting the data, you have to use that information for that purpose only. Okay. Then what is the third principle? The principle of data minimization. That means the data controller should limit the collection of personal information. Like to what extent you can collect. Like for example, you went to a hotel. The hotel will ask you that where are you from, what is your name, which state you are from, what is the purpose, and then where you will go, and the hoteler will follow you to that place. Now, don't you think that it is too much of intrusion in your own personal life? Like WhatsApp keeps your phone on a recording mode, and it is recording all your conversation that you are having in the day. Now, don't you think that this is way too more information that is collected? So the third principle of data protection bill says that you have to minimize, that you can only collect the data which is required. You cannot collect any extra information. Then the fourth principle says the emphasis on data accuracy. So that means it is the responsibility of the data collector that whatever data that they are collecting should be accurate in nature. The fifth principle is that how the personal data is collected, it cannot be stored perpetually by default. That means, like, if WhatsApp has given you some access to, or they have collected your personal information, or let's suppose you have created an account on Facebook in 2010. So that personal information, can Facebook keep it with itself for how much time? So there has to be a limit that you have to keep the data for a fixed period. Now the sixth principle says there should be a reasonable safeguard to ensure that there is no unauthorized collection or processing of personal data which is happening. Like, if somebody is collecting your personal information, then there has to be that company or that data collector has to ensure that where you are using that personal information or personal data. And if you link this point, like how much data is collecting, this bill also emphasizing on data localization. All right. So you can even mention all these principles, or the principles related, or what we are talking in these lines in the cyber security answers. Whenever there is a question on data protection, right to privacy, you can use the principles of data protection bill, and that is why I am discussing these principles in depth, so that you can understand these concepts. Then the seventh principle, that means the last principle here, is that the person who decides the purpose and the meaning of the processing of the personal data should be accountable for such processing. By the way, what is data localization? That means once you collect a data from India, the data collected from India should be stored in India. Like presently, WhatsApp and Facebook, they are collecting the data here in India, but they are taking that data and storing it in USA. This is against the violation of the personal information of the Indian citizens. Okay. And then the seventh principle says that the person who decides the purpose and the means of processing of personal data should be accountable for such processing. Like if somebody has taken your data and that somebody is processing your data or using that data, now it is his responsibility that the data that it is collected from you should be used properly, and he will be held accountable for it. Is it clear? Then the other features of data protection bill, हम थोड़े से ये features भी बात कर लेते हैं, and then we'll move further. So this bill also talks about data principal and data fiduciary. Now what do you mean by data principal? It is that company / firm that is collecting your data. Okay, so that company is known as data fiduciary. Okay, whereas whose data is being collected is, or that individual is known as the data principal. So that company which is collecting your data is known as data fiduciary, whereas the one who is giving its data in this bill is known as data principal. And this bill also recognizes the right of having a nominee to your data. Like for example, if any individual is less than 18 years of age, in this case, who will be the data principal? The parents. Because this bill recognizes the individual under 18 years as minor. So imagine nowadays at what age we are introducing phones to our kids, to our children, right from a very young age. Okay, and then in that case, the data that they put on their phone, the protection of that data, it is the responsibility of not just the parent but also on the data fiduciary. So data fiduciary is basically the entity, the individual or the firm or the company that is collecting and processing the data. Okay, and then what are the significant data fiduciaries? These are those that deal with the high volume of personal data. सिग्निफिकेंट डेटा फिड्यूशरीज का एग्जांपल हुआ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. Is it clear? So you can mention these recent developments in data protection bill, that how it is making your data more secure. It is ultimately helping us to tackle the cyber attacks. If your data will be secure, your cyber information is secure. When your cyber information is secure, you are less likely to have the cyber attacks. और यही हमारे क्वेश्चन का एम था कि what measures that you can take. So implementing data protection bill is a most stringent measures that we can take. Then guys, what we can further opt is this bill will make it mandatory for the data fiduciaries, that means the company, to adopt data protection officers and data auditors. Okay, so this bill will give this data protection officer and data auditor. Now what is the role of data protection officer? Every company will appoint a data protection officer. What will be the work of this data protection officer? To ensure the compliance of data protection bill. And then there will be an independent data auditor. That means some other firm which is independent of this firm that will audit the data collected by the company, and then is that data used for right purposes or not, or is this law is followed in the whole sense or not. So this was the gist of data protection. So guys, that's it for this session. Now basically you can try now writing this answer after understanding the dimensions of cyber security. Also you can take the screenshot of the previous year question papers. Every year there has been a question on cyber security. Okay, and for all those students who have joined or you wants to join your preparation for the civil services at Sriram's IS, we have launched a new batch which has just started from 22nd of June. We have launched a comprehensive batch for CSE 24 where there will be a holistic coverage of everything for each stage, prelims, mains, and even interview. Along with this, you will get answer writing sessions, mentorship through the teachers, as well as through a specific dedicated mentors at our institute. Okay, so you can come and join us. You can use this code Srirams. You can use this code Srirams for a flat 25% off. And we have started geography optional as well. So now all the list of optionals are available at Sriram. All important optionals are available at Sriram. This is the list of optional here at Sriram. If you are interested in joining this, you can straight away use this code Srirams and can get access to all the videos at a flat 20% off. You just have to use this code Srirams. Is it clear? So that's it for this session, guys. I will soon see you in some next